It's your favorite. Hey guys, it's your girl Chelseavbrady. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go subscribe, pour yourself a glass of wine, go roll a little ting if that's what you like, because that's what I like too, and that means we can be booze. Drop a like if you feel me. But let's get right into this video. Number one, first thing I wish I knew before moving to Korea was definitely the whole housing situation. I was one of the fortunate ones, and I worked at a hagwon where my employer paid for my apartment. Key deposit money is super high and the rent is super cheap. On average, rent here would be like 300, 400,000 won, maybe 500,000 won if it's on the more expensive upscale side. Think like $400 Canadian or American. That is super cheap in comparison to housing in many expensive places like Toronto, where I came from, Vancouver, where I am, New York, where a lot of people are. So you're probably thinking, wow, rent is so cheap, my expenses are low, I'm gonna save a lot, which is true. But unfortunately, if you don't have an employer pay for your housing, you have to provide a lot of cash up front as key deposit money. It's basically like a security deposit, which allows you to secure the place and rent it. You still have to pay your rent monthly on top of this, and you don't get that key deposit back until you move out. A lot of you are thinking, okay, that's typical. Anytime you rent a place, you always have to pay a deposit, which is true, but usually a deposit is a couple $100s. These deposits on average are about 5 million won, which in American or Canadian, think of it like 5,000 American dollars, like 5,500 Canadian dollars. That's a lot of money to fork up, a lot of cash up front before you pay for any housing expense. So just keep that in mind if you are coming to move to Korea and you don't have an employer pay for your rent and pay for your housing. I wish I knew that, and now you know, so you're welcome. Number two, speaking of housing, this reminds me of the trash situation. It's a very minor detail and it's not something that's gonna like make or break your living experience in Korea, but I did find it interesting that you had to pay for city garbage bags. So you have to buy city trash bags in order to take out and collect trash. So you don't have your typical all black garbage bags like we're used to here in Canada or in America. My specific buildings were blue. I'm not sure if it was like all of Busan or all of Korea. Let me know, like if you're in Seoul or another city, what your garbage bags look like and are in the comments. But mine was like blue, and you can purchase different sizes. So there's a small, a medium, large. They went by different liters and they were like a couple cents, maybe the equivalent to like $1 for the largest one. And you can only use those trash bags. So if you were to collect trash in like a Daiso garbage bag or like a regular garbage bag and took it to the trash room or took it outside, I promise you someone is either gonna come to your door, leave a note, or contact you in some way letting you know you're a horrible person, you did something wrong, and now you owe a fine of X amount of money. And no one wants to go through that stupid embarrassment when it's something that can be avoided. That never happened to me, but I know it happened to some of my friends. You have to use the city trash bags and your life will be a lot easier. Number three, did you guys know that why did my voice go did you guys, like what? That was such a moment. Anyways, did you guys know that tutoring, this also reminds me that tattooing too, is illegal in Korea? Like, why aren't you gonna let the mandem tutor the gyaldem or the gyaldem tutor the mandem? Like, we're trying to do collective learning here and make money. Supposedly, I say supposedly because you need to look this information up, but from my understanding, on an E2 visa, which is the visa I have and all teachers have in order to work in Korea, one of the conditions are that you can't accept cash jobs or you can't tutor on the side because you're teaching. My boss actually gave me a client. She was like, I have this family friend that is entering an English speech competition and she needs someone to tutor her through it. And in my head, I'm thinking, why are you asking me? Because low-key, my boss, my like hagwon principal, and the co-teacher, the head teachers, all of them, all of them they didn't like me. And if you guys want a separate video on why my Hagwon hated me, why they hated the black girl, like the only black girl, the first and only, let me know. And the only reason why she did was because I have a blog. If you haven't checked it out, chelseavbrady.com, check it out in the description below. But I'm a damn good writer and I have written damn good articles, and she read those and was like, damn, I don't like her, but this bitch can write. So then she let me tutor her family friend. Long story short, I only tutored her like twice for maybe like 2 hours each time. And it was like 150 bucks Canadian, the equivalent to that, an hour. So I left that tutoring session with like 500 bucks. It was super easy. It was Gucci. I didn't have to do much. That's my kind of job. All I had to do was like check the speech for grammar, punctuation, spelling mistakes, and make sure that it made sense, because you know Koreans in their translation to English, a lot of the times it does not make sense. All you have to do is go to like a mall and you'll totally know what I'm talking about. Like I also had my friend, a colleague, who tutored like once a week, and in a month she was making like an extra 1,000 bucks on top of her regular teaching salary. Number 4, underwear. Please pack all of your thongs, all of your sexy underwear, all of your regular underwear, all your swimsuits, pack them all. You're not going to find your traditional thongs or G-strings in Korea. Those don't exist. They do not sell them. Korea's version of underwear are granny panties in a clear sandwich bag. That's how they sell them. And like granny panties are fine for your period. Everyone has their period panties. I do not discriminate, but not everyone wants to wear granny panties at all freaking times. It was so frustrating. I'm actually getting triggered thinking about this. It was all granny panties. So that is something I wish I knew before moving to Korea. I would have hit up Victoria's Secret, La Senza, wherever it is that you like to shop for like your lingerie, your intimate stuff. Like go stock up on that, just like your hair products, because you're not gonna find that shit. So if you want granny panties, go shop in Korea. If you don't, then don't. Period. Last thing, the drug test. So something I wish I knew before moving to Korea is definitely the drug test was a lot more relaxed than I thought it was. Now, if you're like me, an avid marijuana smoker since they're like 21 years old, you too would be scouring blogs, scouring Google, scouring people's brains, trying to get information on this drug test. If you have an E2 visa, which is the visa needed to teach English in Korea, you have to pass this drug test once you enter Korea. And that is a blood test as well as a urine test. I was very confident in my ability to pass this test because I had stopped smoking marijuana 3 months before moving to Korea. I definitely suggest stop doing any type of substance 3 months, at least 3 months before. That allows your body to detox and cleanse it, and it will not show up in a drug test. Do not quote me, I'm not a medical professional, ask your doctor. But that, from my understanding, that's what it was. So I stopped 3 months before and I was confident I would pass it. I got word of my drug test about my 2nd week in Korea. One of my bosses, Mr. Park, he's the cutest little Korean man. He can't speak a word of English and he's so small. He comes and waddles over to my desk and he's like, he speaks to me in full Korean. He speaks to everyone in full Korean. He knows I cannot understand Korean. He can't speak English, but he still speaks to everyone in Korean, which I feel I would do the same. Thank God a co-teacher was nearby and she was like, oh, drug test, Chelsea, drug test. Like, you have to go for your drug test. Although I was so nervous about it before, I was so happy to go do this drug test because, mind you, it's my 2nd week in Korea from Canada. I'm still on my home time zone, which was like 12 hours behind. So I was so tired. I had to go straight into like 8 and 9 hour days of teaching and training. And I was like falling asleep shadowing the teachers. Like you can see me on the CTV, I'm literally falling asleep in class. So I was so happy to have the opportunity to be able to leave work and to go do this drug test. That means I could sleep in the car ride there. I would miss half a day of work. Like, I was fine with it. Went to the clinic with Mr. Park. They took my blood. That was fine. I did like a physical. Everything was fine. The last thing was the urine test. This was the part that I knew that they tested for drugs. So again, I'm confident. I stopped 3 months before. I go, I piss in the cup. I'm all prepared because, you know, I read all these blogs like how to pass a drug test, how to pee in a cup, like it's not that hard. But I did it. And I looked down and I realized that there's no lid. Nor did they label the container, nothing. It was just this clear container with my pee in it. So I leave the bathroom and I'm walking around this gigantic clinic, obviously full of Koreans that are speaking Korean. I have no idea what they're saying, no idea what's going on. No one's looking for me, no one's guiding me, no one is paying me no mind. And here I am, tall black girl with a big afro, holding her cup of pee, walking aimlessly. At that moment, I was like, wow, if I was really built the shits and I wanted to fake this drug test, fake my pee, like I totally could have. If you really need to go to those extreme measures to pass a drug test, I'm just here to let you know that my experience was very relaxed. It was not supervised. If you wanted to fake it, you could have. Do what you want with that information, not promoting it, don't condone it, just letting you know I passed it with flying colors. And I did it honestly. But that's my experience. I wish I knew that the drug test would be a lot more relaxed because it would have saved me stress that I didn't need to stress about, you know? That is the end of part 2, things I wish I knew before moving to Korea. Don't forget to subscribe to your girl for weekly videos on travel, lifestyle, smoke with me's if that's what you're into, smoke and vibe during this quarantine. I'm down for it if you're down. So make sure you subscribe, like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.